Hello and welcome to Midday Discourse on Global TV. My name is Samuel Odi, and today we'll be looking at security issues and how we'll be protecting our school. Security challenge has been one of the major issues we've been facing as a nation. Kidnappings have taken place in the country's troubled northern region, where relentless violence by separatist Islamic militant organizations and bandit groups have no particular ideology have crumbed communities and killed thousands of people for no reason. The adoptions generally are aimed at obtaining ransom and have become a lucrative business, according to Sheikh Husani, a former federal lawmaker from Kaduna, where the kidnapping recently occurred. More than 1,680 school children have been kidnapped in Nigeria since 2014, adoption of 276 schoolgirls from Chibok in Borno State, with fear of attacks stopping children from ever attending schools, and said Save Nigeria. In April 2014, the adoption from a school in Chibok made a global headline and sparked the hashtag Bring Back Our Girls movement and protests, which attracted public support from celebrities, public figures, including Michelle Obama, the First Lady of the United States at the time. You know, our schools have been facing numerous attacks. Mostly schools in the rural communities have been facing numerous attacks by bandits, Boko Haram, and the rest. So now I'll be introducing my guests in a very short while, who will be throwing light on how our schools will be protected and how, you know, it's going to be, we will have a safe environment, a safe community for all of our students, mostly our daughters, our schoolgirls, to be safe and attend schools without having the fear of being kidnapped or being attacked. So we'll be going on a short break. While we'll come back, I'll be introducing our guest, who is the proprietress of a school here in Abuja, and she'll be throwing more light into how our schools can be safe and healthy for students and pupils to learn. Do stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. Yes, before we went on a short break, I said we'll be looking at the areas and angles how our schools will be protected, basically making it almost like a safe haven for students and pupils to learn. I'll be introducing my guest now, who is a proprietress, Mrs. Bishong Esther I. Good afternoon, ma'am. Hello, can you hear me, ma? Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me? We're seeming to have a bit of a network glitch there, but we're hoping to, get connected back to Mrs. Bishong Esther, who is the proprietress of Midday Academy in Abuja here. So as I was saying, we were about to dive in deep into, how we tackle the challenges that are being faced by schools and how we can make our schools almost like a safe haven for all of our children, mostly girls, to be able to study and not have the fear of being attacked by any bandit group or Boko Haram or any sort of unknown gunmen, because a lot of this has been happening in the northern area, and most of these challenges now is restricting most kids, and most parents are even scared to even send their children to school. So we're looking at angles in which where all of this will be resolved, and our schools will be very, very safe for our children to be able to school and then don't have those fears of being attacked by, these notorious elements that are out there. I don't know, Mr. Producer, is she here? Okay, we'll just go further and look at the recent statistics that have shown about children being kidnapped and all. However, new data analysis by Save the Child revealed that attacks on schools have been continuing out of the spotlight and highlights the violence of school children and teachers face across Nigeria. So there has been not just teachers, not just students, but also pupils and teachers are actually being at the verge of all these attacks by all these notorious elements. And we are hoping that in a no distance time, all of these security glitches is going to be overcome. There's going to be pushed aside, and then we wouldn't be wondering, and parents wouldn't be scared at home when their children are out for school. My producer said we should go on a quick break, and then when we come back, Midday Discourse continue. Please do stay with us. If you're just joining us, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television, and we'll be looking at how to keep not just our schools safe, but our environment safe. How do you stay updated with threats around your area? These are one of the factors that we'll be looking at today. And how would you stay updated with security threats around your area? You know, like they all say in our country here, beloved country, Nigeria, that police is your friend. There is no how you would see something and not say something. When you see any kind of, threat, something unfamiliar in your neighborhood, maybe in your workspace, whatever, wherever you find yourself, whatever the area that you're used to, and then you get to see some certain things that are that are not normal, that is not what you're used to seeing. You should, call on the authorities to, rush out and then check it out to make sure that that is not like something that would, cause harm or damage to you or your community. Because if you see things going wrong and things, being not on point, things that are not being normal, you would definitely say something so that attentions would be drawn, and then things like that will be sorted. It seems that my producer is giving me a signal that my guest is here, Mrs. Bishong Esther. Can you hear me, ma? Hello.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Midday Discuss today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, ma'am, today we're looking at a few challenges that most of our schools are facing. In total, from recent statistics, it has shown that over 1,680 school children, particularly schoolgirls, have been kidnapped from 2014 all through to 2024. It has been a decade that we've been facing all of these challenges in our schools. So, ma'am, I want to ask, how easy is it to achieve school security in terms of costs in Nigeria? Can you hear me? We seem to have a bit.
All right.
Yes. Can you hear me? I think we're having a bit of network issues, which I'm sure the production team are working hard for that to, get back to normal. Like I was saying earlier, whenever you see issues, things that doesn't look familiar in your community, in your neighborhood, things like this are meant to, be spoken about. Reach out to the proper authorities, call the police, call NSCDC, whoever you can get your hand across to. You just get that call across so that issues like that will be solved, and it wouldn't escalate to something way beyond that is, expected. And that angle that we'll be looking at is its security lapses that we have allowed mass adoption of our schoolgirls. The security are always working day in and day out, so we wouldn't say there are lapses in the security firms, in the security from the police, DSS, army. These guys work day and night to be able to keep us safe, and then we can't say that we're having security lapses, but I'm sure the security agencies in the country are doing everything within their power to be able to counter terrorism, counter all these banditries, and fight crimes within the nation's capital and Nigeria at large. So angles like this now are being taken care of, and in recent times, the Nigerian army have been able to rescue mass of adopted schoolgirls from all of these bandit groups just a few months ago, and that's an improvement, and that is a way forward that we've been looking at, because our security agencies are actually doing their job day in and day out to see that we are all safe and secured and not having to worry about security challenges or any form of security lapses. But again, before the security agencies come into play, we as individuals need to be our first security, not to put things out there that would put us in security risks. What do I mean by that? maybe there are a lot of things going on the social media, and or you buy a car, you get a house, you start posting and then flaunting some things that you don't really own. But doing all of that, you're putting yourself out there to be what? Kidnapped. So it's actually being, things like this are actually going to be looked aside, and you should also maintain a low and a very, very, key lifestyle, which wouldn't be so pronounced. So you wouldn't be, you and your family, your loved ones wouldn't be in any form of threat from security, from, all these bandits and kidnappers. So a lot of things have been going on, and keeping late night as well is not something that is very, very advisable at this hour, because one, it wouldn't be so nice for you to like probably close from whatever activities that you had during the day and then try to go back and then something else happens. So it's good you also be mindful of places that you go to, places you visit and all. Okay, my producer says the network issue has been solved and my guest is back on. Mrs. Esther, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today on Midday Discourse. So I asked earlier, I was like, from 2014 to 2024, the total number, statistics have shown that the total number of 1,680 school children, particularly girls, have been kidnapped. And I want to ask, how easy is it to achieve school security in terms of cost as a proprietress from your own angle?
All right. We must first accept that there's security threats and risks in school, to teachers, to the environment. So one of the things we must first accept is that there is security threats and risk around. So once we've been able to accept that there's a risk and there's threats around the school environment, then we can do what? We can now go ahead and identify the type of risks and threats. Because when you know the type of risk and threat, you'll be able to know what to put in places. Is it kidnapping? Yes. Is it kidnapping? Is it theft? Is it internet threats? What do I mean by internet threats? Threats maybe from the teachers that within the school. So we must first recognize the kind of threats. After we've accepted that there's a threat and there's risk, then we must now look for what kind of threat do we have in schools? Yes, there are threats, there are risks. The most one that we're seeing today is kidnapping. Kidnapping, it's everywhere. Even now, it has gone beyond even the primary and the secondary school. It is now found in our institution. There's kidnapping, there are thefts, there's internet threats. So what do we do? What do we do in this kind of case? Yes, what are the mitigating measures schools are putting up? Now, let's forget about the government, about the environment, what's the school itself?
Yes.
What are the mitigating measures we are putting in place to protect the school? One, we must look at the physical security. That's the school itself.
Yes.
Is there gates? We have a gate. Is it fenced? Is the fence high or low? Are you getting me?
Yes, I am.
So, apart from the fence, do we have a safe haven? That is to say, do we have a place whereby it is just for maybe safety? If there's anything happening around the environment or in the school, there's a place that the school, the teachers, the children can run into. That's why I call the place a safe haven. And just but there, the place must have a burglary.
Okay.
In fact, let me say, the door must be bulletproof. That's a safe haven now for the school for the children to move down to. So those are the things that school need to put in place before we say we can cover ourselves in terms of security. Am I communicating that?
Yes, you are communicating. Yes.
Those are the mitigative measures we must put in. We must ensure that these measures are being followed. So if we look at it again, we look at access control. Yes. Access control. We are protecting our school. Access control, what I mean by access control is that something that is putting in a place that is controlling the people, the assets, things that are coming into the school and going out. We must have access control so that in case anything is going to happen, there's somebody that is there, like a security person that is monitoring. We have gadgets, we have things that are monitoring. Under the access control, we can talk about the CCTV.
Yes.
There are schools now go to the school from the gates. There are like 2 CCTV that is monitoring what is happening both inside and outside the school. So we need to put things in place, because I want to tell us the fact that this issue of security is increasing the more, and there's no going back and in fact maybe there's going to be a permanent solution. No, I need to be frank with us, but we need to put things in place that will help us to manage the security, that will help us to manage issues of threats and risks in the school. And in managing this, it's not just only the security outside that is monitoring. Somebody too inside is monitoring what is going on, and as what is coming in and what is going out.
Okay.
So,
how
right.
can schools enhance school security? You've made mention of CCTV cameras and other gadgets that can be used. So how can this now come into play in schools?
All right. Before I move forward, even on staff itself, you must do a background check of your staff. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Now, to the school, we must do a background check of our staff, including the teaching and non-teaching staff. And if we want to enhance or to make sure that we're able to follow all this thing, we must orient our staff. There should be orientation. They must give them orientation. That's by the security departments, not just anyhow security. We must have a good security organization that will come over to give the staff, the school owners orientation, as in to give them information about what security is all about. Then I make mention of something that we must do a background check of our staff. You know, some staff are threat to the school.
Yes.
So before somebody will come and work as a security person in your school, you will have know the details of the person very well in case of anything. Because even we are hearing series of things that even staff of a school, they now join us together to do what? To kidnap kids, knowing the parents well that they might be able or they will be able to pay for ransom.
Okay, ma, sorry, let me cut you short a bit, ma. We'll be going on a quick break, please. When we come back, Midday Discourse continues. Please do stay with us. Okay. Because of what she's wearing, that's why.
Hello? Sorry, man. Okay, please, we just wanted to make a little correction on your camera. Hello, ma'am.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television. My name is Samuel Odi, and we've been speaking to Mrs. Bishong Esther, the proprietress of a school here in Abuja. Hello, Mark. Are you still there? Okay. Thank you so much for joining us again, man. So, you were making mention earlier about, making background checks for teachers, because most of, some of these teachers are actually, kind of accomplished for all these bandit groups. So how do schools tend to make all these background checks? Do they go to their house, their communities, or they tend to use the means of identification that has been provided by the federal government to do this background checks?
Yes, all right. We know that things are now becoming very easy in Nigeria. It is very easy now to catch thieves in Nigeria because one, you in any organization now, you must have a guarantor. Are you with me?
Yes,
you must have the guarantor address. You must have guarantor. Sometimes they will tell you that they want them to be working in such a place, so that those people that they are going to be guaranteeing must be sure that they are genuine, they are authentic. So when you get all those details, you don't just fire them. You follow up, you call, you find out. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Schools must not just take staff and say, okay, I'm employing a teacher and let the teacher or the staff start working. You must do some follow-up. You must do background check by calling. Hello, do you know this social person? Mr. Lazarus is going to be working with us. Do you have anything? Do you know anything about him? Where does this stay? And where he's staying must tally with what he has putting down in your file or in your form. So these are ways we can get them. Then with our NIN, anything you want to do now. I was registering common entrance today. They were asking me to provide NIN for children that are just 10 years old, 11 years old.
Wow.
So you can see there's no room for fraud or for any theft again online. They will find you out.
Yes.
Because your need says a lot about you. So we must also follow up that way so that we can protect and secure our schools.
Okay. Moving on now, what is the best way to involve the school communities in achieving security? That's the areas where our schools are located. How do we, get the communities involved in, ensuring that we have almost a safe haven for our pupils and students to school? All right.
In most of the community where we run schools, if you look at them very well, they have what we call maybe chief, or like all this Oba or something, just micro something we call them. So, and when you start operating in that kind of environment, it is proper and it is normal for you to align with them, to tally, as in to pally with them, to work one in hand with them. I know the chief in our area, sometimes we go there for Easter, we just go and just touch. So we have communication. And when you have communication, they will tell you what to do. Like in my area where I run the school, we have vigilantes.
Yeah.
We have the school, we have that area vigilante whereby we pay. We will also contribute to what they do in that environment. We don't leave them, despite the fact that we have the security in the school. We still have to join the community security, because when you join hands together with them, you'll be able to fight whatever you want to fight in that environment. And there's no information or step or anything that is going on that they will not involve you. But if you are running your business on, I'm running my business alone, I am not a community school, I'm a private school, you will land into problems if you don't join them. So you must work hand in hand with the community, with the environment where you are running your school, so that you get more information, and definitely you will pay. But it's better for you to pay for security than for you to pay for ransom or for any issues.
Okay, you made mention of payment. Okay, does it cost so much for you to pay for those vigilantes and all those local securities around the school area?
No, it does not cost so much. My brother, you can pay like 5,000 in a month. Some area is 3,000 in a month. So how much is 5,000 in a month even though they ask you to pay 20,000 naira, it depends. You know, another thing I want us to consider is the peculiarity of our environment matter.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I am.
All right. In a place, they can ask you to pay 50,000 in a month. And we have places that they can ask you to pay 20,000 in a month. It depends on what is happening in that environment.
Okay.
So the higher your own threat is, might be the higher your pay.
Okay.
Some areas are very peaceful, but despite the fact that they still put some measures in place whereby they still have some people that are securing the environment.
Okay. All right. So, okay, that means paying for securities is not so much expensive. That means it varies depending on the area where you are.
Yes.
Moving on. Can schools achieve better security by separating teaching hours? Let's say, part of, most times pupils get to school by 7, and sometimes they close by, some persons close by 12, some persons close by maybe 3 or 4, thereabout. So separating teaching hours, is it going to help, improving or achieving better security in our schools?
Yes.
Separate the teaching hours, maybe not making it so long.
Not making teaching so long, it's good, but the fact is that there should be modalities for picking up children too, maybe for dropping and picking up the children. There should be process and procedure on how kids are dropped and picked. Are you getting me? Even though you said you are going to be running for 4 hours teaching,
yes,
which is not the solution to what we have on ground. But whatever things you want to do, whatever house you want to use there, as in no matter how the numbers of the time you want to use in the school, there should be modality, there should be process in picking up and dropping up the kids. Maybe there should be a line call. You have to call before picking. Picking is even very important. When you are picking up children, that's when we have those kind of issues. When you are picking up, there should be an ID card that identify that, okay, you are coming to pick this particular person. Another thing I'm going to be saying is that they should be consistent in the kind of the person that is coming to pick the children. Not that today Mr. A came to pick, tomorrow Mr. B is coming to pick, next tomorrow Mr. C is coming to pick a particular child. You know there's going to be a problem.
Okay. Yeah,
so it's not the numbers of the hours we spend in school that can give us maybe solution to security challenges. But there should be procedure. There should be that's process or processes that will follow when we come to drop those children and when we come to pick them.
What procedures do you have in place now for your own school in terms of picking and dropping of students?
Yes, in my place, when you come to drop a child in the morning, you sign. Whoever has come to drop the child should do what? Should sign. If we are not following school bus, we have come to drop a child in the school, Sharon in the school, you drop, okay, I was here to drop Sharon around this time. Then later, when you're coming to pick the child, you also do what? You sign out with a child. That this also, I picked Sharon and we've left the school. Another thing we do is that there's a line we call. There should be a call line. I've picked my daughter. All those things are being recorded.
Okay.
So there will not be issues. Good enough for the CCTV is going, as you're coming in, going with the child, those things you can play them. Are you getting me? There was an issue of a child in the school that her hair was cut. As in part of the hair was cut. And when the child got home, the child said it was the teacher that cut the hair. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So the issue with police, they brought in police that they're going to arrest the teacher, that the teacher cut the hair of the child. But what saved the school? Should I tell you? It was the CCTV.
Oh, wow. That means technology is playing a very vital role in terms of ensuring.
The child has beautiful beads on her hair, and her classmate was dragging the hair. Before you know it, they pulled that hair. So some part of the hair was still there. So but the hair was dropped. Everything the CCTV show it. They have to beg the teacher that was like they were blaming that she was the one that did the stuff. Are you getting me? So CCTV, even in picking, in dropping and picking, you are seeing it from outside the gate. So schools now, we must be ready to put a lot of money into the business. Because if you don't put money into the business, you are going to put money into problems.
We hope we don't get to that, angle of putting money into problems. So tell me, how has technology enhanced education in Nigeria?
Lots, in lot of ways. Apart from security, even it has helped the children to understand more. It has helped teachers. Teachers go online to teach. Teachers work online. Teachers get materials online to use for these children. Technology has brought a lot of light into teaching. Some school no longer use lesson plan, as that's higher education, to write lesson notes, to write lesson plan. Now to work directly with the laptop, with the projector. The children now learn directly. Even the teacher don't need to make noise. 1, 2, 3. No, things are already playing on the projector. Things are already playing on the TV. Your own is just to control the class, control the projector or the gadget you are using. So technology has done lots. It has helped us. We can now learn even from abroad. You can be here to learn so many things. There are a lot of courses that teachers can now undergo online without stress and without spending much to achieve all this. And I need to be sincere with you, technology has helped in terms of security.
Yeah, technology has really helped. Technology has helped us host this interview, this conversation we're having today. Moving on, let's
Yes,
just come
yes.
back a bit to our school securities again. Recently the government said they want to, the government do believe that the government believe in the, do you believe in the government recent Safe School plan to use NSCDC? And how effective do you think it will be to enhance securities in our school?
All right. If they bring it up, I believe in the government. I know everything. People don't say government, this government will not work, but I believe in the government. I believe in government working. When they bring it and they give us orientation about it, they've been putting through to use it, I know it's going to work. And I believe it's going to work. Because but as it is now, we must put everything into play, as in we must work on everything. We must work it out. Will this work? Well, I was trying to join you now. I couldn't join you. I tried my laptop. Maybe I'm going to join. And anyone that was able to, as I was thinking, anyone that joined, I'll be able to use it. So if they bring their own method too, I'm sure it's going to work. It's going to help us.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you see? There has been a recent kidnapping case in more than in the northern areas now. Is it? How do you see it? Is it the lapses of the security agencies that leads to this, instant back-to-back kidnapping that has been happening recently?
It's not their fault. It's just that we are not doing enough. Like what is happening now, I'm sure those schools, there are no CCTV. Yes, there are no things that you are using to check. If something happened in Abuja today, maybe a church, maybe somebody was kidnapped today, God forbid, battle. By next week Sunday, before you enter all churches in Abuja, they will get a gadget that will check you to know who you are, to check your bag. We are always after fire brigade. Hey, the thing has happened. Oh, let's just fix it. And once there's calm, maybe when the area is beginning to get calm, we'll forget again and go back to sleep. So I know of some school now, before you enter, they still check you with a temperature check. Know your temperature, so that you will not come in and have maybe give those people in the school issues. But it was COVID-19 that everybody was on top of their game, following up with it. Immediately they said there's no COVID-19 again. Some people have thrown their temperature checker. They've thrown it away. So like the issue there now is just because we are not doing enough. I won't blame them, because people that have kept security guards or the guards in the school, are you checking what they are doing? Are you following up?
Yes.
It's not all about them sitting just by the gates. But are you checking what they are doing by the gate? Some of them are just there. They will sleep, they will eat, they will gist with passerby. Are you really checking what they are doing? So I won't blame them much. I will still blame the school for not putting much on ground for them to use.
Okay. My time is, Mrs. Esther, time is no longer on our side. I just want to know, how do you stay updated with security threats around your environment, in your school and your environment at large? How do you stay updated? Do you have maybe something that rings an alarm if something is about to, go wrong and stuff?
Yes, we do. Apart from the other information, we
Mm.
have the machine in the school that gives you to alarm you. Honestly speaking, in 7 6 months, you might not hear anything from the place.
Oh,
Are you getting me?
yes.
You might not hear anything from this gadgets.
Mm.
But for security purpose,
Mm-hmm.
they must have them there. We must also have what is called fire extinguisher in the school.
Yes.
There was a time we were going around the school to check if you don't have fire extinguisher, it's a problem to you. It's
Mm.
going to cause you problem with the government of that area,
Mm.
because those are the things that you must put in place in case of any incasity. Look at Lagos now. What we've started hearing in Lagos since the beginning of this year is fire.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Fire incident. Even
Mm.
up to yesterday, I still saw one on Instagram. And
Mm.
apart from the gadgets there, you must be at alert too.
Mm.
You must know what is going on in the environment. There was a day, I can't remember what they were doing, either 27 or something, this cultism day or something. They came to tell me that we should be careful. That's the vigilante around, that our children should not go out. Our children should not, once we've entered until they finish. Because they caught people too on their own, their organization, they are moving their thing, and nobody was able to stop them. But they just told us, your children should not be out.
Mm.
So apart from the gadgets in the school, you should also be close with the vigilantes, the security people around your area, so that you get more information about what is going on in your environment.
Okay. Now, like I said earlier, we don't have so much time. So give us your final take. Where do you think schools are better suited? Like, where do you think they are better suited to have more, security operatives, securing the environment?
All right. Schools should be a safe and a fun learning environment for kids.
Mm.
So, and I would tell that it is not possible to maintain a safety environment without putting proper safety measure in places. And
Yeah.
so, if you are going to be running your school or to have a school, even though you are close to police, is fine. But do not go to inside bush, as in whereby the place is quiet.
Yeah.
School is not good to be run in a place whereby it is a very quiet place that people are. It's not a place whereby people are going or are pressing.
Mm.
For instance, now we are going inside. That is one area in Abuja that I want to remember now. This Zuma Rock.
Yes.
This those places are very quiet. There are some places you go in this area, they are very quiet, or they are extreme to the end of the street. If anything happen, you won't know. In any business, you must check your environment very well
Mm.
before you start any business. They're not only school, but you must check the area. Are legs moving very well here? Are people passing through this place? So, but wherever you are putting your business, some people have started in a place whereby they don't like the place,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, they might close up the business, or they find means of putting some measures in the place.
Yeah.
So I will encourage that safety is not a choice. Safety is a responsibility. Either at home, in the school, wherever we are, it is our responsibility for us to keep everyone safe.
Okay.
We must train our staff, learners on how to use all this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Esther, for finding out time to join us today on Midday Discourse. This is how much time will permit us to take on today's episode.
All right.
And thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Yes. So we've
All
been
right.
speaking to Mrs. Esther Bishong, and who has thrown more light on how we can keep our environment, not just our schools, but also our environment safe. So, like I was saying earlier, when you see some movements that you are not sure of, say something. Like she made mention earlier in one of a part of the conversation we were having. She said paying of vigilante guys, all this vigilante group, doesn't cost so much. You don't have to break your bank to, pay for security. So meet your village, your community chiefs, meet them, have a conversation with them, know what you need to do, know what gadgets you need to buy, and then get familiarized with these vigilante groups. If you're having security challenges around your area, meet them up, pay them, just like she said, when they were having a series of, called the vigilante guys had to come to them to give them the information. Hey, all of you should stay inside. There might be, a bit of security threats. those valid information, you know, comes at a cost, and the cost, it's not so much. So we need to all pay attention to security, because one, security starts with you before the security agencies get to you. So always pay attention to security around your environment. Today is Eid Mubarak, and we want to use this medium to wish all our Muslim brothers and sisters happy Eid Mubarak. And that's how much time will permit us to take on this edition. My name is Samuel Odi, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time on Global TV. I am Samuel Odi. Happy Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Good afternoon.